I kind of want booze now.
Yeah, I know. I almost cracked a bush, and I was like, I want to do a little tequila first, and then a bush, and
Here we go. Here we go. 3, 2, balls. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another 11 Bang Bang bout to bring body bags to the burials of anyone who oversteps the words of freedom breathing bare knuckle American badasses. Uncle Gary lost his best friend in Vietnam. He didn't die though, he just lost him in a shopping mall episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
What's up, dude?
Well, first of all, I want all of our listeners and watchers to like and subscribe to the show because that's important.
Do it. Hold on.
Secondly, God bless you.
Thank you.
And third, did you watch that movie, The Greatest Beer Run Ever, with Zac Efron I was telling you about?
No.
It's a guy from It's a guy from Vietnam, right? And all his buddies in his hometown go to Vietnam, right? Yeah. So they're in Vietnam, and he's like, when he signed up for the military, we weren't at war, so they were like, "Where'd you serve?" And he's like, "Arkansas." You know what I mean? Right? So then, like, he's at home, he's drinking all the time, he's the guy that talks shit, and everything.
Yeah.
And the bartender was like, "Man, I just wish I could hand deliver a beer to all the boys from back home to Vietnam that are in Vietnam." And the guy was like, "I'll do that. I'll do it. Sign me up." And then everybody in the town's like, "Oh, Johnny's talking shit. Johnny isn't, he was just drunk. He's not gonna do it." So
he's a shit talker.
So he gets a job for the freight line crew to deliver supplies to Vietnam. And they get there, and he takes his 3 days of sick time, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go off base for 3 days, and go see some friends."
Hell yeah, dude.
And they ended up like letting him. And the whole story is about like that. It's pretty cool. You should check it out.
That's a lot, dude. I don't know that.
Based on a true story. At the end, they had pictures of him in like the trenches of Vietnam with a duffel bag. Like,
what? Are you shitting me, dude?
No, bro. True story.
Best, and that's on Apple TV, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the best beer run ever. If you're,
it's like the greatest beer run ever. I think.
If you're just now tuning in or paying attention to whatever the fuck Thomas was just saying,
yeah.
So the greatest beer run ever on Apple TV, dude. I'm pretty pumped. Okay, before we get too far into the weeds, and we're on a little bit of a time constraint this week, but so this will be an hour snappy video, straight up 1 hour. But I am excited for this week's guest. Can I tell you why?
Why?
Because I fucking love the Infantry. You know who else loves the Infantry?
God.
Fuck yeah. Do you know why the sky's blue? Because of the Infantry.
Yeah.
Because God loves the Infantry. Hit him with that intro.
Joining us this week is Brian's fellow 11 Bravo, Grant Mattingly. How are you?
Good, sir.
Mr. Mattingly, how are you, sir?
Awesome.
Now, we don't know each other personally.
No.
But I feel like we know each other personally.
Yeah.
Like, you know that smell.
Yeah, I guarantee we've been in the same places.
Yeah. It's the 11 Bravos, or Infantry, or God's gift to Earth, whatever you want to call us. There's a smell. You know what I mean? You just know it.
Yeah.
You just know it. You can't get rid of it.
I guarantee we've marched pointless miles going nowhere, probably in the same areas.
Sand Hill.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to basic training?
Fort Benning.
I love it when people do that shit where you're like, "Yeah, I was infantry too." "Oh yeah, where'd you go to basic training?" Fort Polk. Okay, whatever, pussy.
Yeah.
You fucking liar. I'll punch you right in your fucking dick
Yeah,
holster.
if you never went through the gates of and drank your blue Gatorade out of your tin cup that you hadn't washed in 3 months.
Hell yeah, dude. if you didn't get that bloody titty at the end of that fucking 40-mile fucking massacre of a march.
Yeah.
What was it? 20 miles? The final when you graduate, is it 20 miles?
I think it's 25. The bayonet, isn't it 25?
Yeah, the bayonet march.
Yeah.
And the whole point of it is it has like it like derived from like Vietnam or something. It originated because of like a big battle or something. I don't know. I wish I knew more, but I'm a big fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the exact details because it's all just a blur. It's like 3 days long or 2 days, but
dude,
the one part is
it's like Hell Week.
Yeah.
Like your last week of graduation is just like pure. You don't sleep, you don't eat.
Yeah, we got back from that and I just passed out on my bunk.
Yeah.
Still with
Passed out.
face camo, everything. I got woken up at like 10:30. I'd missed final formation and they miscounted.
Oh, fuck.
They miscounted me as present, and I was still in my bunk.
They were like,
and the drill sergeant just didn't find out.
Where's Mattingly? Dude, he died.
Yeah.
He's dead,
I was
bro.
out, man.
So at the beginning of every show, we like to give the listener like a brief synopsis of like who you are, what you do, what you know, like who are you? Like basically today, like who are you? Who is Grant Mattingly?
Well, just I work for the federal government, United States Navy, farm on the side with my dad. Farmed my whole life.
Not a big deal. Just feeding the fucking world, you know?
Really. It gets
big
tougher and tougher.
Dude, my family farms. I understand. So you farm, you work for the Navy. What do you do for the Navy? Do you
I work on an airborne surveillance program.
That's sick. Okay.
It's intense.
That is intense, like camping. And then you served as infantryman in the United States Army. Now, active duty or
National Guard.
National Guard, but did a tour. You went over the
Two
pond.
tours.
Two tours over the pond.
Afghanistan and Iraq.
Oh, then we've definitely marched in the same hills.
Afghanistan 04, 05, so July 04 to August 05.
That's sweaty right there.
Yeah.
Afghan in 04 is sweaty.
Yeah, and
That's
then
a
Iraq
hot
08. Yeah.
Iraq, not so hot in 08. Do you agree that Afghanistan was probably worse than Iraq?
That's when you met Stump, right? In the second tour?
Yeah. So it was different. Afghanistan, you felt like there was more of like, it's not a word for it. It's like your hair's on end. Like the Grim Reaper's waiting for you.
Like an eerie presence.
It just felt like every time you were out and in the mountains or in the villages, you just felt like it's going to happen.
Now you're referencing Afghan, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
In Iraq, you're just cruising for IEDs the whole time. That's all you're doing. You're trying to find them.
Yeah, it's an unnerving feeling. So you drove a lot. You drove a lot in Afghanistan and Iraq.
In Afghanistan, we were mostly straight leg. If we drove anywhere, it was in like a Hilux or a Ranger diesel, or something like that.
So I did I was light infantry. So like we had trucks, but we just never used them. I was on a cop, and it was a really small outpost. The roads were too narrow, so we just walked everywhere, or straight legged, as you say.
Yeah.
So we're out there just boot scoot boogieing fucking miles, and there is something to be said about. I can't speak to Iraq because I didn't fight there, but when you're in Afghanistan, it really is like there's a ghost around you, and you described it as you got the Grim Reaper waiting on you. But like it really is like.
Well, if you think about it, thousands of people have died there for 2,000 years. Since the beginning of time, that area has been a war zone.
It literally is almost on par with like Jerusalem, with how many people have like blood has been shed there. It's insane. It really is just like the ultimate battleground.
That's why it's so intense. It's like the lost souls are there with you from generations of fighting.
It is an eerie feeling when you're in a town, and it's not like Iraq. Like they'll start a gunfight with like kids and shit on the street. In Iraq, I've been told when the kids pack up and when they close up shop, it's like, hey, something's about to go down. In Afghanistan, we had to pull kids out of gunfights, bro. Like they didn't give a fuck. They'll kill their own family to kill you. Like if they accidentally blow up a shop, they don't give a fuck.
Well, they were even. I read an article the other day just talking about just like dude. Yeah, they're just talking about like the principles of like even gang violence now or war. Like it's completely different. Like. And back in like on the streets, like in the hood or whatever, like they'll take you to like your kid's gravesite and kill you versus like, they used to not do that shit. Like you leave the mom and kids out of it, and then like nowadays it's just, you don't see that in war or at home.
I don't want to get too sweaty. So we do this thing called have you listened to any of the shows before?
Yeah, I listened to Stumps.
Stumps are good. And we should have prefaced with, we actually met you. I said we didn't know each other personally, but we met you through Stump, actually. Yeah. He's a hell of a dude. So you're familiar with the death of the week.
Yeah,
you're
right.
A little familiar. So we're going to go ahead and roll into this week's death of the week. This is going to be brought to you by Corn Dog Development. These super dope coasters, dude. Check them out on Etsy. The link's in the description. All you got to do is click on it. When you're checking out, just use the promo code Days Grimm. Save 10%. Get you some coasters. Get you a fucking
spice rack.
Dude, I think he's making a fucking...
He just did a cutting board, I think.
Yeah, a unicorn.
Maybe.
Out of cedar. I don't know. Whatever, dude. So this week's Death of the Week, again, brought to you by Corn Dog Development. We're going to be talking monster trucks, guys. Pretty gnarly. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see some of these pictures. But basically, fans of monster truck racing often flock to events such as Monster Truck Jam or Monster Jam to enjoy cheering for impressive stunts and competitions. Despite the entertainment value, organizers place an emphasis on safety, both for drivers and the spectator. Though most such spectacles go off without a hitch, sometimes events can go awry, and unfortunately, some mishaps have led to fatalities. So then we move on to, in one tragic 2009 Monster Jam incident, 6-year-old, I can only assume that's how you say that last name, died from head injuries after he was struck by debris, or debris if you're French, that flew from one of the monster trucks. His distraught family described the object that killed the boy as a 7 to 12 pound frisbee-sized metal ring. An adult spectator also sustained injuries in the incident and was transported to a hospital for treatment. Quote, Field Motorsports, which promoted the event, said in its own statement, again, quote, inside of a quote, this type of incident has never happened before in the history of Monster Jam events, end quote, the Seattle Times reports. Holy fucking balls, dude.
Yeah,
a 7 to 12 pound fucking frisbee, dog.
That's a whole nother ultimate disc substance.
Kids' hand-eye coordination. Let's talk about it.
Was that considered a UFO?
Could he have moved?
I don't know.
I'm just saying, dude, like, where are we at on, like, kid's not an athlete, clearly. So
that's where the iPad could have saved your kid's life. Increase that hand-eye coordination.
Dude, so what do you think about that? He's fucking 7 to 9 pound goddamn frisbee coming.
I think it's sad that a 6-year-old lost their life for intense. Starters. But, yeah, I mean
kids suck. No, I'm joking. It's unfortunate. Jesus, fucking no shit. That is very unfortunate. What are the fucking odds you're watching Monster Truck Jam and you catch a damn 12-pound frisbee to the fucking forehead?
Right. Sheesh.
Sucking fucking Jesus, fuck. That's aggressive, dude.
So, Grant.
That sucks.
What was
rest in peace, little buddy.
Were you in athletics in high school?
Yeah.
What sports did you play?
You look like a football player.
Right.
Well, we were too small. We didn't have football. So cross country, basketball.
What was your school? Did we already say the school?
No, Bar Reeve High School. It's
Bar Reeve? Bar Reeve?
Bar Reeve. Reeve.
One word?
No, it's 2 words. It's got a
hyphen or whatever.
Yeah.
Bar Reeve.
Yeah.
So track, what did you do in track?
Cross country. Yeah.
So a lot of Indian runs?
Yeah. I fucking do not miss Indian runs, bro.
I had our cross country coach at the time. He recently just passed away, but he used to run with his runners until he got just a little older. He would still run every night, but He wasn't as fast. We would just outpace him. But that guy would just drive us out in the like Amish community and drop us off. Like, okay, run back to the school. We'd be like 7 miles away. And then he would follow.
All right, get your shit, get back to the house.
He would follow
it's like 13 miles, coach. Fucking dude, we're out in fucking cow country. What's going on out here?
He would follow you in the school van. Like if you were going too slow, like you'd look behind you and like the bumper of this Dodge van would be like staring you down.
Just fucking ready to mow you over.
Yeah,
Fuck.
He was intense, but
that's
that year
intense
that we
sure.
ran, we qualified for regional, which hadn't happened in several years.
Sounds like a fucking slave driver.
Yeah,
dude.
he was legit though.
And you said you played basketball.
Yeah, basketball and then golf.
What were you best at? What was the sport that you think you were the best at? Track, basketball?
Probably cross country. I mean, I was a 3-year letter winner in golf, but golf isn't taken serious. It's more of let's just go play golf after
like a hobby
after school. Yeah, I mean, even though you're on the team, it's just you just screw around and play 9 holes. Oh yeah, every once in a while. But
do you think you could teach me?
Yeah,
I want to learn. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a set of like $200 clubs.
Yeah,
just like some hodgepodge put together some shit, and I want to learn badly.
Yeah,
because I need a sport that I can do when I get old. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Well, being former infantry, your joints just aren't there for anything else.
Light infantry for 3 years, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I just carried my world on my back for 3 years.
So-
It sucked.
What was it like when you said you enlisted right after high school?
Yes.
What helped make that decision? Did you enlist were you one of those guys that enlisted like at the end of junior year because you knew that's what you wanted to do, or?
Well, no, my parents wouldn't co-sign, so I didn't enlist as a 17-year-old.
My parents didn't want me to go.
Yeah,
So.
they weren't super big on it. So I waited until I was 18, but September 11th obviously happened in 2001. So at Bari, we take a senior class trip to Washington D.C. and New York City. So
Yeah.
we got to New York, and it was like it looked like a coal mine. It
What
was
year
just
was
a
that?
huge hole. Well, that would have been right after September 11th.
And this was 2001?
Yeah, they were still cleaning up the debris, and it had a chain link fence around where the World Trade Center was with all the cards and flowers and all. It was.
And you're
it was
18 at
super
this time,
intense.
or 17?
No,
18?
I didn't. See, my birthday's not until April, so I turned 18 April 9th of 2002. So right before I graduated, and then I enlisted in June. So
Damn.
it was only.
So you
2
got that
months.
like fresh memory of like the Twin Towers, and you got to see it in person
yeah.
versus on TV.
I mean, I always knew, even at a young age, that I was drawn to that side of it. Like, I was almost 100% sure I was going to go into armed forces some way, somehow. But when you want to do infantry, there's only really 2 options: Marine Corps infantry and Army infantry. And I don't do ships. Like, I don't want to go float out in a ship
Right.
I mean, I got several friends that were 0311 Marine Corps guys, so infantry, and it just didn't. I wasn't drawn to it like I was Army infantry. My grandpa was Army infantry. He was a paratrooper where they used to ride in the gliders.
Oh, yeah,
man.
dude.
That to me is like you got like brass balls if you're going to get in this paper glider and be towed by another airplane and jump out of this thing.
Right.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I mean,
Fuck yeah, dude.
whoever even thought of it? I know it's just some accountant somewhere, some engineers like, hey, how can we save money? Let's just stick these guys in this paper plane.
Yeah,
And
guys,
then
hear
they
me
can
out. Hear me out, guys. All right. Put some bird bones, paper mache, and airplane glue. Fucking send it. What?
Yep.
Go. Make it happen. You know, and it's a fucking some 3rd grade fucking
It's just getting tugged along.
just a fucking held together by fucking magic glue. Just fucking coasting.
Yeah.
And there goes fucking. There
So
goes,
you got to hear stories from your grandpa too when you were younger.
No, not until I joined, and when I become an infantryman, then he actually started to talk to me. Like, my mom would come up to me like, I never heard any of those stories before,
Right.
which I can understand now. Now that you have combat experience under your belt, I can understand like where he was coming from.
yeah.
But there was no military influence around me growing up. It's just something that I was drawn to.
Right.
Do you think it's different now?
Oh, it's way different.
Yeah, like the way that. So I, as we've spoken on this show multiple times, and if you listen to the Stump episode, you're aware. And then actually, I had a buddy that I deployed with come on the show, Jake New. I highly suggest you check that one out.
Well,
And we go into detail about my deployment, or our deployment. But I've seen a fair amount of combat, and I really do find that people that have seen combat now are more open to talking about it than our predecessors or the ones before us, like Vietnam, World War II,
yeah.
Korean War. Like, my grandpa served. I had a grandpa that served in Korean War, never talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have an uncle that served in Vietnam, never talked about it until, like you said, I became infantry, and then he finally opened up and was like, "So I was fucking hanging out with these." And I fucking hung. I'm like, God damn, dude, you can't say. We're like eating at the Waffle House. He's like, yeah, fucking. I'm like, whoa, dude, fucking chill out, bro. And he's just like, you unleash this like dark side. Like, that's when I finally heard his stories. But do you think that it's different now? Like, veterans that are seeing a fair amount of combat, that they are more apt or open to talking about it?
Yeah, I think so. Other than this, I mean, I still haven't done a Veterans Day thing at my high school. I just never. I'm going to do it this year because my daughter's a 3rd grader now, and I think she thought that I was going to do it last year.
What are you referencing? I don't know what you mean.
That school,
So
when they
Bari
do Veterans
does.
Day,
Yeah, they do a Veterans Day thing every year where they have local veterans come and
your
talk.
schools never did that.
I didn't know that.
Fucking not modern day. Fucking
Posey County, bub.
That's terrible. Every school I've ever been to on Veterans Day, they are
not pushing P.
They send out like a message to like any students, kids that like anybody in the school that has a military family member is welcome to come, and they do like a whole thank you ceremony. And
we may have done it, but I do not recall. No, I don't. My memory is also shit though.
Yeah.
For the record. But you are going to go to one this year?
Yeah, I'm going to
think
go.
So. So you'll go all the way back to your hometown, I guess? Or
Yeah.
And I should have been more clear about that. Do you live in Evansville now, or did you drive from?
No, I drove from. We live up around Washington, Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Amish country, dog.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of buggies and wagons.
Yeah, I've been there my whole life.
Damn, dude, that's dicey.
Yeah.
You ever run into an Amish dude and you're like, I don't know how I feel about this guy, like
Amish parties, man.
Oh, dude, really?
Rumspinger?
Oh,
do they go hard?
It's a lot different now because the local law enforcement has really cramped down on it. But when I was a kid,
come on, bro, they're cracking on the Amish.
Yeah, you're talking hundreds of people in a barn. Some kind of Ford LTD with the speakers on the top of the cab.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Blaring, pour some sugar on me.
Oh yeah.
Amish girls doing cake stands, you name it. I mean, it's
Brother Jebediah just fucking probably doing some coke.
Well, not in front of everybody. It's there, but not in front of everybody.
Oh,
so
there was blow at these parties. That's all that matters.
So what's so intense about these parties, and probably why the law enforcement started really cracking down on
prostitution? Clearly,
well, maybe not, but the Amish kids would get loaded. And then they would get in their buggies, and the horse would know how to go home.
Right.
So the horse would take them home in the buggy, but the horse doesn't stop at stop signs and stuff.
It's just going.
Amish buggies were getting hit with cars and stuff, and so you started seeing like, as soon as you get to the party, you would know oh, this thing's intense. There's going to be cops coming soon. So people don't. I mean, they get down.
I never knew. I would have never assumed that the Amish went that fucking hard.
I mean, you've always heard about it. You never heard of like Rumspinger.
Yeah, but it's like the Squatch, dude. You always hear about it, but until you see it, you know what I mean? I need to go to an Amish party.
I bet they can roll a mad joint.
Oh, for sure, one-handed. Dude, brother fucking Jeremiah. I don't fucking know. Dude, their names are so stupid. Whatever. I respect the Amish though. I do respect the shit out of them.
They're workers.
Dude, I've seen them move a barn.
Yeah.
By hand.
You
seen that?
Yeah. What was basic like for you? Was that like...
It was a breeze.
Really?
Cakewalk.
I mean, from like cross country and all that, I mean, you're already in shape to running and...
I actually got slower at Fort Benning than what I was when I got down
You were probably putting muscle on from push-ups and shit. Yeah. So you got a little more dense.
Yeah. I mean, guys would look at me funny once I become an E5 and sergeant, I'd be telling some of the
you made
guys,
E5?
Yeah.
Damn,
so
how long were you in?
7 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I was already boarding for E6s. So if I would have stayed in, I would have been an E6 easy. But I would tell the guys, I'm like, basic training is the easiest thing you're going to do.
Right.
It's nothing compared to what deployment's going to be for you. How hard is it? You do what you're told, and you don't make stupid mistakes, and you'll breeze right through it.
Yeah, that's the hardest part I find for people is that's what they teach you in basic, that a lot of people have the issue with grabbing is, like you just said, do what you're told. But it's to the T. It's to the letter. They teach you acute detail. Like if your drill sergeant says, go pick up that ball over there, your response should be which one, or like what color ball, or like you need to pay attention to every single word in that sentence, and then that's what they teach you. And then when you fuck something up and you go get the wrong ball, you're doing push-ups, and they do that to teach you, hey, I didn't say the orange ball, I said the ball. You should have clarified. Do push-ups. It's like, fuck. So that's what they teach. That's probably the hardest part of basic.
So like Brian, he was like just cleaning pots and pans and like had to transfer branches to get orders to go overseas. What was that like for you, or did you know that you were going over?
Well, my home unit was in Iraq when I was in basic, and we kind of thought that as soon as we graduated, we were going to get sent over there, but that never happened. So we were down for like 6 months, and then another unit was deployed to Afghanistan, and we got pulled for that. So my first deployment was actually with a completely new unit. I didn't know anybody. which is tough for a guy because you walk in day one, you proved yourself already
to your other group.
Yeah, and you're starting from scratch. So I ended up being an ammo bearer on an M240 gun team. So it's a 3-man team. You've got a gunner, assistant gunner, and an ammo bearer.
Ammo bearer is the worst too, dude. Give me that goddamn tripod. I don't want to do the fuck, dude. I'll throw that bitch on my back. I don't want to carry 700 rounds of 7.62.
Yeah, plus your complement of 5.56.
Yeah, your kit. You've got your kit and 700 rounds of 7.62.
How much do you think that weighs?
7.62 is the same thing as 308. And if you've ever seen a 308 round, bitch is big. And when you stack up 700 of them, fuck, dude, I don't know. What is that? 40 pounds?
Oh, easy.
40 pounds?
Yeah, not counting the metal cans that they're in.
Yeah.
So, you're adding additional 40, 50 pounds
on top of your workload you need to carry for your AR. Mm-hmm. So the 5.56 or the 2.23. It's a lot of weight, dude. I'd rather take the tripod or the gun. Give me the fucking gun. Yeah. The gunner has the best job.
Yeah, because they can walk around with a 9mm when they don't have the 240 with them.
Speaking of the I guess the pig or the new M60, the 240 that is. Have you seen the Mark 48? Have you seen that bad boy?
Yeah.
I toured with one of those in Afghanistan. That's a cool bitch.
Yeah.
Have you had the pleasure of shooting one?
No, I haven't shot
They're fucking gnarly. So for everyone that doesn't know, the Mark 48 is a 249, an M249 machine gun body, which is a much smaller machine gun than the 240, but then has the same bullet size as a 240. So it's a much smaller gun that shoots a large, I shouldn't say shoots a very large round. It's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
And when you have a nutsack of 308 on that fucking machine gun, dude, and it shoots just as fast as the saw. So it's a bad boy.
You fly you fly basically. You take a flight from base to the East Coast, and then from the East Coast to Ireland.
No,
or Germany on the way in.
Yeah, so Afghanistan, we flew to Frankfurt,
Germany.
And then from Frankfurt straight to Bagram.
Yeah,
because we switched over. So it was a civilian flight to Frankfurt, and then a C-17.
So when I went to Frankfurt, I went Frankfurt to like Tajikistan or something.
Yeah, there's K2, Kazakhstan. We fly through there. I think we flew out of there, out of Afghanistan.
And then I went Kuwait, and then Kuwait, Bagram. That's how I got there.
Yeah.
So when you get to Bagram...
Are you getting shot at day one, like when you land?
No, because Bagram's so secure.
It's like a city. We've talked about that.
Right, that's what we mentioned with Stump.
It's like a mountain bowl. So you got mountains on 3 sides, and it's open on the one side. So... I mean, it's so large that even if they're taking pop shots, they're not hitting nothing.
Yeah. The biggest concern you have on a place like Bagram is being the unlucky soul that gets hit by a mortar.
Yeah.
But it's such a large, vast area that, like, the odds are so low.
Well, I mean, it's your time.
Yeah,
it's your time. If that happens, it's your time.
Right.
I mean,
and we've talked about mortars. Like my cop got hit with mortars every fucking day, which we talked about in Jake's episode. So when you get to Afghanistan, do you operate strictly out of Bagram?
No.
Or do you go to a smaller fob from there?
No, our main base was in Kabul. Okay. So from there, we had smaller outposts. So there was different companies got different assignments. So some went to Gardez. Some went down by around Shindan, which is straight east of Herat, which is where I spent. So you did like, I think there were 90-day rotations, 1 platoon every 90 days.
That's crazy to me. So you were rotating out of cops basically, or OPs or whatever.
Yeah, we were switching up the duties. So when we were in Kabul, which was where the battalion commander and all that was, the BDOC was there. Yeah. So the infantry guys just secured. We did the dismounted patrols all around the area because we dealt with a lot of rocket attacks and mortars. So we were constantly trying to find those guys.
You ever get one of those recoilless rifle rounds? You ever see one of those?
Yeah.
That's a scary bitch.
I tell you.
That's a scary bitch.
The most unnerving was not the rockets because you could hear them. Yeah. It's the mortars. Like you standing around the little fire pit and smoking.
Yeah.
Mortar goes over. It's just nothing but a whoosh sound. Like there's just...
I'll tell you the most unnerving feeling, because we got hit with mortars so often.
You're talking about that giant gun up in the mountain?
The recoilless rifle is awful. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. The we just called it the Requalis rifle. Huge fucking round. But the unnerving part about mortars is on a quiet day when nothing is happening, they're so close to you that you can hear, if you're paying attention, if you're quiet, no one's chatting fucking BS, and you can hear it's just a thump, and you're like, did I just hear what I thought I heard? And then sometimes your mind will be playing tricks with you because you hear it so often. But then every now and then you'll hear a thump, and then the loudest fucking, I can't explain what a fucking mortar landing next to you sounds like. It's just the most atrocious loud sound you've ever heard. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
I still have like anxiety throughout my entire body. Like I'm constantly waiting for like something bad to always happen just because I'm so used to mortars. Yeah. But like it's fucking weird, dude. But anyway, so mortars were kind of an issue for you. What was your favorite part of Afghanistan? Did you have a favorite part, or did it just suck balls all the way through?
It was all. It all seemed the same. Like you're still wearing your kit, and at the end of the day, you shed that thing. It's like you're shedding a human body.
Yeah.
So you were wearing that wherever you're at. So I mean, it's the suck wherever you are in Afghanistan. It's no different. I didn't think it was any different. I actually did 2 tours, 2 rotations down. They did like they just asked for volunteers on the 4th one, like the last 90-day one. So I'm like, well, I want to get out of Kabul, so I'll go back down.
And what were you doing basically on these like
just mounted patrols? We would go meet local village elders.
Always talking to the elders.
We had an A&A scout platoon that we would take out with us. It was a lot of stuff like that, just patrols, and we would go over to Shindan, and which had a army base over there. I think 5th Group was stationed there when I was in Afghanistan.
Okay.
So we would go over there and just kind of screw around. It was mountain passes.
Any patrol mission that sticks out from your first tour?
There was one where it was just me and another E5. I was a corporal at the time. And we taken the A&A scout platoon out with us, so there was like 30 A&A guys, which was just Afghan National Army guys. Well, their platoon leader was a guy that was former Mujahideen that fought the Russians.
Fuck yeah.
So this guy was legit.
Right.
It's that guy.
Actually on screen?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No shit.
It's that guy right there.
Dude, I pulled this picture up for a reason, bro. Yeah. I fucking knew.
That guy would scissor kick you in the head without even, he was legit.
That's sick.
So we would take those guys out. Well, we went to this one village, and what's so gnarly about Afghanistan is the Russians just mined the shit out of it.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
So we're rolling up in our four-door Rangers, our diesel Rangers, and the village people are running out and they're waving their arms. They're like, what's these guys' deal, Are they just happy to see us? Which is,
that
you already knew something was up.
That's not happening.
Well, we were driving through what was known to them as a local minefield. There was mines in that. Because we weren't on a road, there were no roads. So
that's often in Afghanistan that like unless you're in a populated area, you're driving on a sheer mountain face or in an open plain, and it's just fucking.
Well, what's wild about that area was the Russians never did defeat Ismail Khan, which was the warlord of that region. He later became a senator or something. We paid him off, but right outside that city were embankments where they drove their tanks down into, and it was just sand piled up, and they made like fortifications out of it, and that was still there. Wow. And the road weaved in between all these tank bunkers.
That's sick.
And that was as far as the Russians advanced on this city, and they couldn't defeat it. They never did win.
It's sick. Afghanistan is honestly a battle that I don't think anyone will ever win.
No.
I don't think we won that war. I think we killed the guy we came for, and I think we should have pulled the fuck out.
Yeah.
I think it should have happened A1 day one. Bin Laden's dead. Dope. Fucking and we killed him in a different goddamn country that we shouldn't have been in.
Which anybody that had been in Afghanistan knew he was in Pakistan.
Dude, job's done. Shake your hands. Call it a day. And get the fuck out of there. Too many people died over there. What did we lose? 3,000 troops?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a lot in retrospect when you talk about wars, but like 3,000 dead is 3,000 dead. That's on top of an additional 3,000 that died on that day. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Can we tie this the fuck up? Like, fuck, dude. Shit pissed me off.
So you get done with tour 1, you come back home. How long are you home before you sign up for tour 2?
Yeah, what's that gap look like?
Right at 2 years.
A couple of years.
So while you're home, you're just going to schools. I did PLDC, which they changed the name to WLC, Warrior Leader Course now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's something different now, but WLC is what I know.
So in that 2 years, though, you're still focused on like your military career, going up in rank, taking classes to train better, to be better. So what does it look like, or in your head, what are you thinking when they say, hey, you dropped orders for Iraq? What's the first thought that comes in your head? I'm ready. I've been waiting, or fuck, I don't want to go.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of a sticky subject because of the stop loss thing, but even if I was stop lost, I had my best friend that he was in Iraq when I was in basic. So this tour, we were going to go together. Mm-hmm. So stop loss or not, I was going. I was either re-enlisting to go. There was just no way to keep me from going. I already had one combat tour under my belt. You wanted to go. There's just no way that I was going to sit at home while my best friend since kindergarten went to Iraq. Yeah. It's just, it doesn't work like that. Military guys don't. Right. That wasn't even an option to me. Yeah, so.
Well, don't stretch it. I think there's some military guys that don't really. Let's say infantrymen don't operate like that.
Right.
If there's a fight and you're supposed to be there, like that's just how it's. That's how it is.
I guess I shouldn't lump everybody in because I only know infantry, so I don't know.
Yeah, you got to be careful because you lump in some psyops guys, and they're like, "Yeah, we're here to fight," and it's like, dude, shut up, nerd. All right, hey, we're not talking to your people right now. We're talking to the bang bangs out here, dude. Yeah. No, and no disrespect, no shade towards anybody that served.
What were you excited to go? Excited to loose? Probably not the right word, but like to a new country because, like, I mean, you were in Afghanistan, but like you're like, oh, this is a new battlefield. This is a new experience.
It's a totally different fight, too.
Yeah, we were getting intel reports like we were going into this thing expecting mass casualties from the beginning because the area we were going to operate out had the most IED detonations in the whole country. And that ended up being the case. I mean, when we got there, Baghdad was basically neutral. There wasn't a lot going on in the green zone. They paid off a couple warlords. They weren't really attacking anybody. But once you got up into Balad and Tikrit and Mosul, like that's where everything was going on. And that's
the hornet's nest.
Well, it's like nuts about like, I don't know about Iraq, but I've heard stories of in like Afghanistan where like neighbors, they've had turf wars with their neighbors for 10 generations. And they're like dropping mortars on their neighbor essentially.
It's the Hatfield McCoys in Afghanistan. Almost every valley is the next valley they're feuding with.
That's insane to me, dude. It's just like, could you imagine living in a country like that? And then also, like, they get so fucking ass hurt. I say they very vaguely. And people from the Middle East don't want us there, and rightfully so. We don't need to fucking be over there. We don't need to tell them how to live their lives. I get it. I disagree with it as well. But it's weird to live in a country. I couldn't imagine living in a country where it's like, oh yeah, fucking 4 blocks over. Yeah, those are the Smiths. Yeah. I heard they're going to church tomorrow, so we're gonna try to shoot them. We're gonna try to kill them. What? Yeah, in your country? Oh yeah. We're gonna kill them. I'm sorry.
Or you had like Asa with
imagine that world for a minute. That's insane.
His interpreter, and he's like, when I come to America, I'm going to build my house
so I can beat my wife.
Yeah, soundproof so he can beat his wife. Yeah. And you're like, hey, we don't do that in America. And he's like, I know. That's why I'm building my house soundproof.
Yeah. Dude, they just don't give a fuck, dude. They're a bunch of savages, man. I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, but
were you excited to see some new scenery in a way?
Yeah, I was excited about the mission mainly because I was training as Truck 1 in Afghanistan. I was
just the tip.
I was Alpha team leader, so I was the point guy on this amount of patrols. So that's what I was comfortable with.
True tip of the spear.
And I was like this, and the guys that I had were super, and I was training them specifically from my experience from the previous deployment. Like, this is what you need to expect. This is what I need from you. You'll have my backing the whole time, but you need to be ready to do this, and this.
And we mentioned this in Mike Kennedy's episode too, about like Evansville SWAT and those things. And it's like if the guy in front of you goes, if the guy in front of you goes down, like you got to know his job, so that way when somebody else is pulling him back, like the person next to him knows, like, hey, this man's supposed to throw a flashbang as soon as the door opens.
Next man up. You have to know everyone's job. It's when you're in part of an integral. A small functioning unit like the infantry. Normally we operate in 20 to 30 man operations. You're bringing a squad at a time or a platoon at a time, about 30 dudes. When one goes down, the next man's up. Like, you just got to know. Like, if your team leader gets shot in the fucking head, the E4 that's next man up should be like, all right, here we go, guys. I got the point. Fucking drag him out of the way. If he's dying, let him die. If he's gonna live, let him live. Whatever. But yeah, it really is that way, right?
So you were just basically like making sure every man on your team's up to speed and up to date and like everything along those lines.
Yeah, because you operate different. Like the first 2 trucks are considered the forward security element.
Mm-hmm. So constant radio back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really radio silence because if I find something and I'm on the radio saying to stop, that's all I'm saying. And truck 2 knows to stop because I've found something.
Right.
And nobody else is making any noise on the radio because I need to relay what's going on.
Yeah.
So the discipline from every truck, at least in my platoon, was just top notch.
So I have a question on, you said you were training your guys up from your previous deployment. You were like, hey guys, this is what I experienced. This is what I fucking need you to do. And these guys are cherry. They've never seen combat.
Yeah.
So my question to follow up on that is, how much do you think do you think that screwed you because the fights are so drastically different? Like, you don't get full frontal facial assaults in Iraq like you do in Afghanistan. Like, it's not, like you said earlier in the beginning of the show, it's not a gunfight in Iraq. It's a bomb fight. So do you think, training from your previous experience, did that screw you? Or do you think you lost time, wasted time? Or do you think it still helped prepare you and your men for Iraq?
No, I think when I say what I'm training them to do, it's specific things like this is your response. Like my driver, his responsibility is to make sure the vehicle's fueled up, is to do the PMCS on the vehicle and make sure everything's legit. All the lights are working, the Duke's working, the
making
radio.
Sure the roller's actually rolling.
Absolutely. So when I'm training these guys, I'm training them to not ask me a bunch of questions. I'm very specific on what I need. And I need to trust you that when I say, hey, Chestnut, who was my driver, he's a great dude.
What a fucking name, though.
Yeah.
Chestnut. Is that his real name?
Yeah.
That's his last name?
Yeah. And
hey, big shoots to Chestnut, dude. I hope you see this, dude.
So this guy.
Glad that's not your nickname.
Yeah, right.
So this guy, he actually hunts on my property.
That's
him
awesome.
and his sons.
That's sick, dude.
He was an NBC guy.
He sounds like a trusty horse.
He wasn't even an infantry guy, but he was my driver, and I wouldn't have traded him for anything.
God
but
damn,
like,
that's sick.
When you're looking for IEDs and I say stop, I don't need you to look at me. I need you to slam on the brakes and stop.
Right.
So
don't think, act.
Yeah, and I started doing that very early in our training cycle.
Yeah,
is to get those guys conditioned to when
muscle memory.
And it's not me being bossy or micromanaging. It's
life.
This shit could keep us alive.
Right? Yeah, 100%. That's the scary thing about the infantry is like your life is just, you're so expendable. You really, really are. It's like,
so you saw IEDs in dogs' assholes and Coke cans.
That's some dicey shit. When Stump was talking about a fucking IED in a dog's butthole, dude.
We found
His
one
back
too.
Door.
We found one too, and we had an IED robot that was like an RC car with rubber wheels and just had a camera on it. So we find this dog. And I pull up and we cordon the area. Well, truck 2 has the robot, so they get the robot out to kind of interrogate the area.
Yeah.
And he drives the robot up onto the dog and gets it stuck. It's just spinning its wheels.
God damn it.
So EOD finally gets out there, and their robot is on tracks, and it's got arms that you could pick stuff up with.
It's higher speed.
Yes.
It's fucking high speed.
And they had to pick our robot up off of this dog and bring it back to the truck before they could go back.
Shitty 11 Bravo robot, dude.
Yeah.
Take this thing the fuck home.
Yeah, here's your Kmart robot.
Yeah, dude. We had to call in the fucking big dog for this one, dude. Dude, EOD's dope. I had a buddy of mine that I toured with, Joshua Turner. He won't see this. I hope he does. Fellow bald man. And I used to give him so much shit for being bald when we were in the service too. And then I just started shaving my head because my hairline went to shit at 30. And now it's like God's repaying me for making fun of my buddy. But anyways, no, Josh Turner, man, he served alongside me as 11 Bravo. He was actually my team leader for a while. Good dude. Gets out of Afghanistan. I come home like months after the tour, and I'm out. I fucking PCS out or ACAP out, and he stays in, but reclasses his MOS to EOD. And I've heard some fucking. I've seen a lot of EOD shit in Afghanistan. Those dudes are fucking dope. They do some cool fucking shit. Obviously, they just get to blow shit up.
Is that like the robot people?
Yeah.
Well, so what's that like?
You missed the whole dog story.
Well, yeah, I know. But Truck 2, you said had like the robot or whatever. So like, do they? What's the size on this thing?
So it's like
because I'm picturing that show back in the day where they had like the robots that fought each other with like saws.
Half the size of this desk, probably. The one that you used to carry?
No, like smaller than that. It had little rubber tires on it about and it was like an RC car with the top cut off of it. And then it just had a metal arm and a camera. So you couldn't pick anything up. The camera you could move around and reshape on the arm. But and then you had a video feed back where your controller was. And it was just super... like a simple design.
Would they just like run these into the IEDs essentially, or would they just make sure it's an IED and you'd call a bomb squad for it?
That's what we would use it for. Yeah.
Sometimes I bet I don't think we ever triggered one, but I'm assuming if it's pressure plate, like in Iraq, there's an abundance of pressure plates. If it's that robot's not light, and I imagine it might be heavy enough to set off a pressure plate.
Yeah.
It's probably 20 pounds or something.
Yeah, I mean that's how the TTP changed so much. The tactics, techniques, and procedures like. The insurgents.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah.
No, like acronyms, that's one thing people don't tell you about. Army has a fucking acronym for everything.
Oh,
and people listening, that's helpful for them. So TTP.
Yeah.
And it was tactics and what?
Techniques and procedures.
So,
our platoon and our commands running set TTPs. You adjust those based off of what the insurgents are doing. And they're going to do the same thing back. So it's a constant back and forth chess match. So... what I'm getting to that is when we developed Duke system, which is the radar jammer, they went away from the remote control IEDs because they weren't working. They would try to detonate them, and we were blocking the signal.
Yeah.
So they went right back to pressure plates and command wire, and you can't stop either one of them. Well, you can stop pressure plates by not running them over, but you can't stop command wire.
Well, even in Stump's episode, he mentioned how they had stones lined up like old school cross sights.
Fucking insane, dude. It's nomadic as fuck, dude.
Yeah. The IED that got us was command wires.
Do you want to talk about that story? We heard it from Stump's point of view, but I'd love to hear it from your point of view.
Well, this is a different IED. Theirs was July 4th. Mine was July 7th.
Yeah,
so same route.
That. Yeah, he did mention that.
Yeah, MSR Tampa, same route. You're talking 2, 3, sometimes 4 IEDs a day.
And are you guys doing clips at this point? Like you're just feeding a base with supplies, basically?
Some of them are just straight patrols. Some of them we're going out with no, we're not escorting anybody.
Okay.
We're just going out.
Okay. So, but you're on a main supply route. That's what the MSR is. So you're on a main supply route, which means it's highly traveled. You guys are on it all the time.
Yep.
So you're familiar with when things look weird.
Yeah.
But they also know, hey, if we're going to have a good chance of blowing them up, it's probably here.
Yeah, which was, in our case, is TAI, Nebraska. That TAI is Targeted Area of Interest.
So they were often like the same, like same mile distance. You're like, in this mile distance, they're always placing them, essentially.
So in order to qualify for TAI, it has to have so many IED debts in a certain period. And we had like 6 of them, 6 of these different TAIs that we would travel through.
A day.
Yeah. So early on, I developed a system to where I had a dry erase marker, and I would write coordinates on my windshield because my GPS, my dagger, what we called a dagger, which is an Army GPS, was right underneath it. So I knew based off of what intel I had that was most recent that these were the IEDs were going off or being found.
It's very intelligent.
So I could just reference the window.
Right. You're like, I'm in this latitude, longitude area.
So you knew that once you got into those areas, that the chance of either finding an IED or somebody being hit with an IED are really pretty high.
It's exceptionally higher than if you were just cruising along.
Yeah.
We had a similar thing, but they would write it on like a quarterback, like the quarterback playbook. On the wrist, they had a dagger on the one hand, and then like a quick book. Some of them had the quick book on their arm, or they had it in their center, like a book that would just fold down.
Yeah,
and it was like the same thing.
I did that.
It's a very intelligent way to go about receiving and continuity of previous engagement.
That's exactly how I did it in Afghanistan when I got to checkpoints. See, I would
you don't have a vehicle to write on, so
So I would get the map and I would plot out our dismounted patrol, the areas we were going to go to. So then I would write out the checkpoints, waypoints, and I would send the 10-digit grids for each checkpoint to the BDOC, and they would watch and listen on the radio, and I would just call in checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, and they would know exactly and they would have the map that I submitted. And that was the same thing. I had a quick reference guide that I could look at.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to derail you from the initial story. We do that all the time. We're so bad with the ADD on this show.
No, I get it.
So you're on the MSR. What was it, Tampa?
Yeah.
So you're on MSR Tampa, and this is before Stump gets blown.
No,
this was 3 days after.
3 days after.
Yeah.
So Stump's already taken that hit. And now you're on MSR Tampa. What corresponds? Or, what follows?
So we went to Balad and turned and burned. So we got some chow and refueled the vehicles.
100%, yeah.
And medevac had then turned red because the dust storm had came up. So my staff sergeant at the time didn't know whether we should continue on, and we didn't know if the medevac was going to stay red. And we ended up coming up with the decision that we would go back to Crit, to Cobb Spiker. So we do that, and straight north is what we used to call the Samara bypass. It's just a bypass that goes around this city because the city had too many IEDs, so we would go around it.
Yeah, just avoid the trouble.
Right. So visibility was shit. And we get to this area, and there's a bunch of boulders and rocks across the road. And it just clicks, and you just know, uh-oh. Why else is there?
Did you say stop? Like you stopped?
My driver was already stopping because we had so much time in the truck together that he already knew. Before I can even tell him to stop, he was already stopping.
Yeah. So shout out to Chestnut.
Yeah, Chestnut was on top.
Chestnut's crushing nuts.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So, but that's the nature of truck one. You don't just stop and back away. You have to actually identify what's going on.
Yeah.
So we're looking around, and I got a new gunner for this mission. He's also an E5.
E5 gunner.
So the problem you run into in truck one is everybody in the platoon wants to be in truck one. They all want to be Rambo and find IEDs.
The heat. Yeah, dude, give me the heat.
They all want to be part of it. Well, in this particular mission, he was a friend of mine, and I'm like, okay, man, if you want to go truck one, we'll swap out gunners. I'll give you the lowdown on what I need you to do.
Yeah.
But he was standing up in the gun hatch and looking over the armor,
over the barrier.
So his head's just sticking out. Yeah. And I didn't know that. I was actively trying to find the IED.
Yeah.
What ended up being
in a dust storm.
Yeah. It ended up being so. What the engineers do is you have craters from previous IEDs. Mm-hmm. Well, there were so many IEDs that the engineers couldn't keep up with them.
Yeah.
So the ones they did keep up, they would fill with concrete, and they would put the engineer castle. They would stamp it into this filled-in bomb crater.
Okay.
So in this situation, they had dug out the side of it and put the 2 rounds. And I don't know what size they were. You didn't see them quick or long enough to really know the size. But that's what saved our lives. Because when that IED detonated, it was just concrete debris, like supersonic concrete debris hitting everything. If that IED would have been like beside us and not underneath that concrete the way they had it.
Like if it was free flowing, just bomb and dirt.
Yeah. So, standoff distance is how you survive. The farther up and away you can get from an IED blast, the concentration of it, the better off you are.
Yeah.
So that concrete actually took the bulk of that force, and it was just like concrete was raining down through the gunner's hatch. And he took concrete to the goggles. He had cuts all over his goggles and his face, and he just sat down hard. I thought he was dead. I just looked at him like, Bordy, you're all right, man.
Did your truck survive?
Yeah. Actually, the truck.
How close are you to this bomb? Sorry.
From here to that wall.
I have so many questions running through my head right now.
From here to that wall behind you.
And that's like the nose of your truck.
Like the nose of the sparks is right beside where the
and the bomb's right here.
Yeah.
And it's buried under concrete, and then it blows up, and then homeboy drops out of the gunner hatch, and you're like, is he dead? You're gathering, you're getting your bearings.
So I'm already on the radio saying truck one's hit. And the 6th truck, which is our last truck.
The rear, yeah.
They hear me talking on the radio, giving a sit-rep, a situation report, before they hear the sound of the blast. If that's how wild this is. So my original gunner is in truck 6,
and that's an attest. That has to say something about how quickly you responded, though, as well.
Oh,
instantaneously.
I'm not the type of guy to say that I was awesome or I knew exactly what to do at every situation.
But you were snapping dicks.
I'd already been there before, so it just took over. And I was checking on Boyd, making sure he wasn't bleeding from anywhere. I pulled out a cigarette and lit a cigarette for him, and I'm yelling at him to calm down because Chestnut's calm. He's already backing the truck up.
Chestnut's chill, dude.
I've lifted,
relax,
yeah.
bro. Everything's fine. Look at Chestnut. He's not even sweating, dude.
Yeah. So,
old trusty Chestnut.
The spark system is a front and back. See, the back one you have to raise up to back up because the rollers will get jammed up. Yeah. So I've already raised the sparks, and we're trying to get out of this area. And truck 2's come up to provide assistance. Yeah. And we get stopped, and I get out of the vehicle, and I'm wanting a firefight, man. I'm ready to go, but I'm like, it's command wire. These guys, they don't operate. They're already gone, man.
Yeah, they don't operate like that.
What had happened was we stopped short of where they wanted them to stop.
The kill
because
zone.
Chestnut, through his experience and us being together, as soon as he seen those rocks, before I could even tell him to stop, he was on it. So at that point, the guy's like, he's probably like, well, shit, and he went through all the effort to place him, so he just blew him.
See what I can get.
Yeah. If I can injure somebody.
What was your first dust storm like? Sandstorm? Because we don't have sandstorms here in the Midwest. So and you probably didn't have them on basic training. So what was it like experiencing that for the first time?
You can't see anything. Afghanistan, for some reason, the ones in Afghanistan were just super gnarly.
We didn't have a lot in Afghanistan.
Man.
I was in RC East, though. So near China, Pakistan.
Yeah, see down there, that's not too far from the Iran border in Arcag West. So we had a Connex that was a makeshift shower that just had.
Brian's got blown up day one.
Yeah, it didn't have.
It was the second month, but yeah, they did get blown up.
It didn't have. It didn't have running water, so we just fill them up with bottled water. Well, anyway, I went to take a shower, and this is not a military base. This is a village that we took over.
Right.
So it's an Afghan village. So it's just mud huts. So I go out and take the shower, and I get out, and there's a dust storm raging, and I'm all wet, and I end up dirtier than what I was before I even took the shower.
You got spray tan.
Like you couldn't see anything.
Shout out to folks that live in fucking that shithole El Paso, Texas. Those motherfuckers know about some dust storms. I'll tell you what. That was the first time the only time I've ever seen a dust storm. El Paso, Texas. So if you live there, fucking move because that place sucks.
So did you see one in Texas too when you were in Texas?
I've never been west of St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
You've never been west of St. Louis?
Mm-hmm. I've actually probably been to more countries than I have states.
Really?
Yeah.
You need to change that, sir.
I'm a country kid, man.
Dude, there's so many cool places in this country, though.
Yeah,
there really is, man. Pacific Northwest is probably my favorite. It's
so
beautiful.
Everybody backs up. You guys can't find the guy in that situation, and you guys basically do you guys have to clear the route and continue forward?
Yeah. So there's no medevac, so I can't get Boyd out of there or myself. At this point, I'm. Adrenaline's pumping like super. So I'm good. I'm out. I'm talking to the medic. We pulled Boyd out of the truck. Mm-hmm. We replaced him with somebody else that I cannot remember who we replaced
Boyd
him
is
with.
the E5 gunner. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he's okay, though.
Yeah, he ends up being okay.
Minor cuts.
He's not bleeding from anywhere.
Probably just concussed more than anything. Yeah, because he's out of the truck.
He's out of it.
Yeah.
So it's time now. We don't have another choice. We got to drive back to base. So I checked the spark system out.
Back the way you came?
Good.
Going back to
that
No,
we're
going
to continue going.
Oh, we're push through?
Charlie Mike.
So we're gonna clear the rest of the route.
Charlie Mike, fuck yeah, bro. I taught him that. I'm so proud of him, dude.
That's good. That was good.
So you push all the way through. No more issues on the way?
No.
What the fuck? No, so what does that look like when you push around an ID? I mean, do you just literally drive around it or?
Yeah.
Just off into the desert and let's go way over here and then come back to the route?
Well, no. I mean, we just went into the medium around the crater and in this crater, you could have drove a Ford Ranger into. Like I'm talking, this was a big ID.
Jesus
there was no
Christ.
getting around that. It was a big ID. But that, like I said, that concrete saved our
What do you
lives.
think it was? Do you think it was HME, homemade explosives?
No, it was 2 rounds, but I don't remember what size they were. No, they were artillery rounds.
Artillery rounds, Jesus. And that was pretty common in Iraq.
Yeah.
So in Afghanistan, we'd often see mortar rounds that were jerry-rigged, like 60s, like pretty good-sized rounds. That's
right.
60 mil.
So what happens when you get back to base? I mean, you got to go through like a medical debriefing.
We immediately get taken to the combat hospital there on Spiker. We all have to go through these cognitive tests where they check out your movements and your function and your memory. That's what I ended up having. You had to go back again like 2 days later for like a
reassessment.
And
did that make you do the puzzle? Did you have to do the puzzle where you like take it apart and put it back together?
When I did the reassessment, they're like, something's going on here.
Yeah.
So something's not right. And you know, on the way back, I was so hyped up, ready to go that it wasn't until I got back to base where I felt like, you know, I'm going to throw up. Like I feel like shit.
That's a weird thing about adrenaline, man. I've never suffered any major injury. And through all the combat I've seen, I'm very fortunate. A lot of guys I served with got blown up, shrapnel, whatever, shot. But dude, the adrenaline, man, well, you don't even know adrenaline.
We can even talk about the adrenaline aspect. So like, I have a vasovagal synocope. So like at the sight of blood, talk of too much blood, I drop, I pass out.
We should stop talking about it right now.
My kid, I told him, don't stand on the glass table. You know, simple as that. Right. Well, he stood on it and ended up falling through it and like cut his hand real bad, blood everywhere.
Yeah.
And like I was able to like drive him to the emergency room without passing out. Like, and that I never in a million years, like if that happened to Brian, I'd be on the ground. You know what I mean?
Because he doesn't like me.
Yeah.
But I mean, like adrenaline does crazy things. Like just
it sounds like you're an
all
asshole.
Around. It sounds like my body just can't handle it. But I'm just saying, like,
Jesus.
adrenaline.
Sounds like you're going to bleed out.
Yeah.
Dude, he dropped on the show.
But
he dropped mid-show. He just, like, terminated the interview. And we were like, okay, I guess that's the end of the show.
It's been that way since I was a kid. I would, and that's, like, the downside, too, is because, like, you know, like, I would love to be a firefighter or in the military or anything along those lines. But it's, like, physically.
Or a hunter.
Yeah, I love deer meat, you know, and like I shot, you know, Pablo.
Yeah, that's
and
our
stuff
boy
like
Pablo.
that. But it's like, you know, I had to have my dad with me who could gut a deer,
right?
Because I can't gut it. Too. But like once the skin's off and everything, and it's semi washed up, I can process a whole deer myself.
Right.
But it's that blood and gut whatever. But Brian here actually wants to learn about hunting.
Yeah, I've got all the necessary equipment. I've just never been shown.
He got his license this year.
I've never been shown.
I've been hunting since I was a kid.
I don't want a bow though. I mean, if I had to, I could. I've never shot a bow, but I
would love it.
Bows are fun.
I'm a trigger man. I love firearms.
They have triggers for your bow. So like you clip it onto your bow, and when you pull your string back, it's got a trigger right here, like by your face, so you can click.
Well, let's explore this.
Another time.
Yeah. I don't want to derail from the. So we make it. So you make it through. You get assessed.
And that you fail the
definitely have a
assessment.
TB. You definitely have a TBI or a concussion.
So what happens then?
Then they put me down for like 10 days, but I'd already been scheduled to go home for leave. So I go home for leave and come back, and I'm good to go right back into truck one again.
Fuck yeah.
Because there was no other option. I'm like, you're not keeping me out of truck one. That's
my
what
truck.
I'm here to do. I'm the one that mounted all the extra lights on it. I went up and welded extra armor on the turret and put bulletproof glass so the gunner could see down, have a better angle where his face wasn't exposed. So I'm like, I got blood, sweat, and tears in this truck.
I'm coming back.
You're not keeping me out.
You're getting daddy back in this truck.
Yeah, so it went right back to business as usual.
How much longer did you do over there?
So from July to like November, December. So several more months.
So let's get on to not to like rush this. I don't want to like.
You got a Purple Heart from that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
They submitted one for me. I didn't have anything to do with it, man.
Right.
I was there to do what missions they wanted me to do, and
to do
the administrative side of it. The medic come and got me one day and said, "Hey, we submitted this. We don't know if it'll go through, but
I have a bunch of buddies who got TBI Purple Hearts while I was over in Afghanistan. Like, we got grenades thrown at us all the time, and like you could be standing right next to a grenade and just fucking pop your nuts loose. You know what I mean? Just like all screwy. But that's common.
Did you receive your Purple Heart in that last few months while you were there, or did you not receive it till you got home?
We did a ceremony when we got home. We got it. I think out of our company, we ended up with like 14 or 15 Purple Hearts.
When you get home, was your whole family there, like at the airport for you and everything?
Actually, no, because it was my second deployment, and I'm like, man, I don't want this dog and pony show.
Yeah.
I'll be back in town at this time. You want to pick me up at the armory? Just do that. Don't drive. I'm like, don't drive 2 hours to some random airport just to see me 2 hours earlier. Just get me when I'm back home, and I can just go home. And
that makes sense. How about your first tour though? When you came home, did they greet you at the airport then from Afghanistan? Do you remember coming home from that?
Actually, I don't know if we were at. I think so. I think we did come back to an airport, and they picked me up from the airport, and then we had like a date we had to be back. So it was like, come home, you're on like a 3-day leave, and then come back at this date, and we'll do all your out processing and
it's
all that
fucking
kind
sick,
of stuff.
dude. Having that leave time. So I was active. You're always working in the active duty. So like, but yeah, we had a brief moment of like, when you're back from tour, you got like however many days of like just sit and chill and relax. And dude, there's nothing greater. God, that was great having that time off.
Yeah, because you don't get time off in Afghanistan. Like,
No,
I didn't get
no.
a day off. Like,
Yeah,
the
you
whole
get
time
paid
I was
24 hours a day. You're working 24 hours a day.
Dude. When I was over there, I was there in Afghanistan when Barack Obama had fucked up the paperwork and I wasn't getting fucking paid.
Oh, man.
I did 2 months of my fucking tour without. We got back paid or whatever, but like we were there and just not getting paid. I was like, this is
Like,
fucking.
how am I supposed to get cigarettes?
This is garbage.
When you're in Afghanistan, though, what are you going to spend money on? There's
True. But I just remember we were like, we're not going on patrol today. We're not getting paid.
Did you bring anything cool back? Like my uncle brought me a prayer rug back.
Yeah,
Bring back
I bought
any
some
AKs or
knickknacks.
anything?
I tell you, the coolest thing, and I actually have it in my truck. I'll show it to you guys. Is one of the abandoned airfields we were at in Afghanistan had a bunch of old Russian MiGs that had been blown up. So I got in the cockpit of one with my e-tool and just like kept prying on it, and I got this gauge out of the cluster. And I still have it to this day.
That's awesome.
I have
Sick,
it's in Russian, so I have no idea what it says or what the gauge is for. But
Right.
me and
fucking
another
sick,
guy
dude.
got in this thing.
I got a guy I can send it to.
Yeah,
He's
we
a
got a
Russian
guy.
tanker
We got a guy.
in Ukraine right now
I'll
too.
show it to you. It's,
Dude.
It's not very
Dude,
big, but
you're friends with the commies?
Sometimes, you know.
Dude, G's up, man. That's what's up, man. No, what do you think about that shit in Ukraine right now? It's fucking bonkers, right?
yeah, but I don't necessarily know that we need to have anything to do with it.
Do you think like America almost needs to be like a horse with blinders sometimes, where
Yes.
like right now with the world and its polarity, like
Why are we shoving our nose in
I'm
it?
a big person of like how people say religion's like a dick. It's great to have, but you don't go shoving it down everyone's throats. It's like freedom. It's like a
that's
dick.
kinda
It's
hot.
great to have, but you don't go shoving it down everybody's throat.
I think it's the first time I've ever heard religion and penises be brought together. That's intriguing. That's a good way to look at it.
There's
Seriously. That's a nice innuendo.
I mean, if you look at our foreign policy, how many decades, how many hundreds of years have we been just everywhere?
Oh, shit.
How many
Vietnam,
bases, satellite bases we have?
Somalia.
Yeah, I mean, how many years do we have guys in Bosnia, in that area?
Oh, you mean still?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
still there.
I'm like, Yugoslavia doesn't even exist anymore, and we're still in that region.
Yeah.
We're still in the Baltics. Why are we in the Baltics?
Or the 48th parallel.
It's ridiculous. It's ridic. I like to get random people's opinions on the Ukraine Russian invasion.
So in this picture that's posted, there's like a bayonet on the gun.
Yeah, that's how you hold it up.
yeah.
What? So you guys actually carried bayonets?
Oh, this
No.
is
They were
a
a knife
cartoon.
in that
This is a
sense.
cartoon, I think.
That is for a fallen soldier. So that's how they set it
Well, I
up.
just didn't know if that's how like you guys
Nah,
carried.
the bayonets went into the trunk with all your NBC gear.
You don't use them.
No, you almost everybody had just a foldable like Benchmade or something like that.
Right.
That was your primary knife you carried. with
Are you big into like military movies and stuff like that now? I know, like
I watch them see, they're not real.
Right.
What's your
So-
favorite? If you had to pick one,
Oh man, like a Saving Private Ryan or something like that.
fucking love Saving Private Ryan.
Because all the
Hacksaw
modern ones, if they have to do with Iraq or Afghanistan, they're so far out of.
Dude, okay, you say that, but I was legitimately blown away by Lone Survivor.
Well,
Wildly, obviously not accurate to a T, but the most accurate contemporary war movie, I
but
think.
Marcus Luttrell was involved with that though.
Yeah, he had a lot of say.
See,
in the
that
movie.
happened when I was in Afghanistan.
That's crazy.
When the lone survivor thing went down, and that was the whole country was on lockdown. Right. I mean, everybody was like, okay, well, this is like going to be like a Tet offensive, you know?
Yeah,
this is going to be like
SEALs
Vietnam.
don't go missing. SEAls just don't go missing. And we had one missing. We had 4 missing.
Yeah, and then they shut down the Chinook, and then it got wild.
It got real.
It got wild.
What was your adjustment like coming back to the civilian world?
So in Afghanistan, my dad played a huge role in that, and probably not even on purpose. Like, he didn't even realize he was doing what he was doing for me. So my dad coal mined for like 36 years. He's coal mined his whole life and farmed on the side his whole life. So I got home, and he's like, all right, let's go to the mine. So we go to the mine, and it was a job interview. So I was working at a coal mine 2 weeks after I got home from Afghanistan.
Wow.
So there was no drinking. There was no downtime. You had to take a piss test just to get the job. So he pushed me right into that. And that's probably what kept me out of trouble to begin with. And I did that until we got the orders that we were going to go to Iraq and started doing like 3-week training missions, like 6 months out. Like every month we were gone for like 3 weeks.
What was it like when you got back from Iraq though? And you're like, you're basically done with that side of the military. What was that adjustment? Because
that was hard because I was ETS and I was getting out of the Army, and I love the Army, but you can't have a normal civilian. Like, you can't have wife and kids. You can't do any of that stuff. Like, I hadn't even been to college yet, mainly because the op tempo of deployments and schools, and that you can't fit it. Infantry guys, you can't fit it in anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm 24 years old. I need to go to college. I want to start a family. I got to build a house. I got all this stuff I got to get done, and I can't do that if I'm still in uniform. So, and when you ETS, it's just you turn in all your shit, and that's it. There's no like counseling. There's no nothing.
Right. Do you think the military? I talk about this with Brian. Like the military teaches you routine, structure, and stuff like that. Do you think that helped you, like, transition from military to civilian life, like you said, with like college and?
Without a doubt, but I also had the benefit of a strong family structure as well. There's guys that come back and they're coming back to that same broken environment they left, and they're right back into whether it's drugs or alcohol.
Environment is such a huge plays such a huge role in individuals' lives. Like, whether you're from like a shitty town where they're like meth is just predominant, or like whether you grow up around Amish people and you guys are fucking doing coke in a barn burner or whatever. It's like people don't understand that, like you just said, like having a good family structure, or like a solid hometown, like with a high school that cares about you, and like a community that cares, like having that it's got to be a game changer.
Did you end up doing any therapy, or do you think your home life saved you?
I tried the whole VA thing, but like the first one I went to, like they were giving me handouts on like PTSD and anxiety. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm hearing you're going to give me literature to go home and read.
Yeah,
and that was the only appointment I ever went. Now, they have gotten better now versus what it was, but it was really my dad. My dad and my neighbor. My neighbor was a Vietnam 0311 Marine Corps guy.
Did he open up to you about anything that happened there?
Oh, he would drive by and he would yell Vietnamese at us. He was also a coal miner and a farmer, and a Purple Heart recipient. So that means in southern Davis County, within a half a mile of each other, you had a Purple Heart recipient from Vietnam and a Purple Heart recipient from Iraq, like right there together.
Right. That's what we mentioned earlier in the episode, and like we've mentioned it previously on shows, and like I know the Vietnam guys, like that the greatest beer trip ever and everything, like that was a war like none of us have ever seen or could imagine, but like Brian said, you got your modern soldiers, even your World War II guys, they're a bit older, but they'll talk about it a bit more now. But like anybody from Vietnam, they're tight. They don't talk about it.
I think it's just a new generation. We're understanding how to combat this thing that they call battle fatigue, PTSD, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
On social media, you're able to get in touch with other soldiers and talk, and it's become more.
I don't believe in the prognosis or the diagnosis of PTSD. Here's the thing: it gets overused and overplayed. And I've heard people say, "I did a tour in Kuwait and I have PTSD." It's like the term PTSD is fucking. I want to say the word.
It's just a
stupid.
wide
It's
mouth.
dumb.
Well, the
It's
VA
dumb.
wants to blanket everybody.
What
with
it
that.
is if you've seen combat, I think we need to go back to battle fatigue, because if you've seen combat, and like I was telling you, I constantly have anxiety for something bad to happen, and that's because of mortars. Like, mortars have instilled in me that anything terrible can happen at a glance of a moment, and I just have that now. But like, I think we're learning, or at least soldiers are learning, that like the more you talk about it, the better off you are. And honestly, I think it's a new way to combat this, like PTSD, if you will. You know what I mean? But you and I have that intrinsic anxiety. It really is just stress and anxiety that you carry with you. But I think the more and more you talk about it, the more and more you demean those previous terrifying experiences, and the more you belittle them or demean them, the better off mentally you are.
Is 4th of July your least favorite holiday?
I mean,
I honestly don't mind
stuff
it
doesn't
anymore.
bother me.
Yeah, I don't mind it. But when I first came home, the first couple of years, fuck yeah, I hated it.
But I got to tell you,
I remember when Brian first came home, and I didn't make the. I feel so stupid about it now. I didn't make the acknowledgement of it, and so like, you know, we're making funny videos, you know, and like there's fireworks around, and like I just tossed a handful of fireworks in a circle of people, not even thinking, you know what I mean, and like. I just feel like people need to be more aware almost in that aspect of like if somebody is just now returning and it's been more than, you know.
What were you going to say though? You said
I was just gonna say there's a real big difference between like a bottle rocket and an IED or a mortar or something like that. I think if I'm not ready for it, then it's kind of an issue. But like if I'm coming to Evansville to watch the fireworks, like I know there's going to be fireworks everywhere.
Right.
That doesn't bother me. I'd say it's more people letting off fireworks when it's not 4th of July.
We're not supposed
that's
to.
when it'll catch it. Or like I had one the other day at work that made me fucking jump out of my skin. It's like those random loud noises that are like a clap, like a loud clap will fucking piss me off. Like it'll ruin my entire day just because. And I get mad. I get fucking mad because it scares you so. But do you get that way? Like you get so scared, and then you're just like, "Hey, fuck you, buddy." You know, like once you chill the fuck, it literally will ruin my day.
Yeah, that is something that, you know, my wife understands. She's a nurse practitioner now, but she's always been a nurse. And that is something that when you're married to a combat veteran, like our mood cycles are so strange. Like you don't know what you experienced that day that's going to affect your mood. And nobody else, like your kids didn't do anything to you. Your wife didn't do anything. It's just you're in a funk that day. Yeah. And you can't figure out why. It's You've been exposed to something that you didn't even register. That's just fucked the rest of your day.
Right, triggered that gland.
You can't get out of it, man.
It's like the male menstruation for me. My wife,
I call that a comma,
dude. It's
like a period with a tail.
My wife fucking hates it. She fucking hates when I get moody. But I'm like, I feel like that you're just like meant to be like you're turned into a machine. And then, like, I don't think that part of you ever goes away. No. You know, that you're just an anger, bullet slinging, body stacking.
I think it's a rewiring almost of the brain to react. You know, if this happens, you react this way, and that becomes a primal instinct.
It's weird
inside of you.
It's a weird thing.
And I would think the more I talk to other veterans that are kind of in the same situation as me, it's like you got to find something where you can just go and decompress. For me, it's hunting and farming,
and that's important too. Like you just said, reaching out to other veterans, man. And then that's kind of like what we like. That's what we're hoping to do with a couple of these. Like we've done a couple military episodes now, and they fare out really well. Like we get a lot of response from people, and that's what's important. Is that like, you know, you're reaching out to me, I'm reaching out to you. We're talking about it. We're belittling those instances that we've both been through, and then hopefully somebody listening to this is like, it almost feels like they're having a conversation with us. Mm-hmm. So another veteran hears this and they're like, "Fuck yeah, I feel you." Yeah. So that's sick, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to come in here. And talk about all this stuff. It's not everybody's as comfortable about. You know what I mean?
But it took a long time. I mean, I've been out since 2009, so. You know, I'm 38 now, so that kind of thing. Yeah. When I first got out, I didn't want to talk about it to anybody, you know. Right. But the older I get, the more like, well, maybe I can help somebody with my story. Maybe they're going through the same shit. And that's important, dude. You might be strong enough to make it, but I've had a couple of buddies off themselves because they weren't able to make it. Yeah, we've lost a couple already.
And it's like, it all it could take is just reaching out to somebody and being like, "Hey, bro, you good? Hey, man, you want to get a beer?" Yeah. Especially for you. You have all your guys here in Indiana. It's like, hey, man, I'm driving down to Lagodi. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, let's hang out. I'm over in Washington. Let's get a beer.
Yeah, my gunner is he stayed in. He's a warrant officer now. He flies Blackhawks.
Fucking sick, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. I know it's not, it can't always be easy. Sometimes, we ask questions that are a little on the edge and maybe you don't want to talk about it. And I understand. I want to greatly let you know how greatly we appreciate you coming in and answering a bunch of questions. Do you have any? I wanted to wrap up on
last.
Yeah. So in the last couple minutes, we like to just give it to you.
Well, you didn't ask the.
Oh, yeah. So as far as the darkest moment of your journey through the military, whether it be pre-military, intra-military, or post-military, you don't have to elaborate on what the instance was, but maybe what was that darkest moment in your career there, and then what mostly we care about is what pulled you through that darkest moment, what kept your legs moving, what pushed you through that suffering or whatever.
I would say, well, there's really kind of two. So we lost 4 guys in Afghanistan, and one of them was a friend of mine. His name was Kyle Snyder, and he also grew up with another guy that was a real good friend of mine that got injured in Afghanistan. That guy I just talked to in the gym the night before, and they were in a truck, and they run over a pressure plate IED, and that's an anti-tank mine, and no truck is going to withstand that. It was devastating. So that one, and the intel brief I was in one time where we watched the contractor that got captured, and they cut his head off, and I still to this day I can't get that out, man. That's one of the ones that I wish I just would have shut my eyes, because that isn't, but it tells you how real it is. Yeah. But that is probably the defining moment in my military career that I wish I'd never experienced.
It really solidifies what you're fighting for, though.
Oh man!
So what pushes you through that? What gets you to the next day? You leave that intel briefing, and you walk out, and you're like, all right, that fucking sucks.
Well, it goes back to what the environment I grew up in, and my dad is. There's work to do. That's been my dad his whole life. There's work to do. So after I got out of that, I'm like, all right, it's time to go to work. It's been work ever since. And sometimes, I've had too much on my plate. Like when I was working and going to school at night, I did that for a long time. But that's how I've always attacked things: is if something's bothering you, go find something to do. Go do something with your hands. Go work on something. Even if just do whatever. Get out of the house. Go find something to do.
100%. There's work to do.
Yeah.
And Grant, thank you for these sweet little medals.
Oh yeah, the challenge coin, man. I've never gotten one from a different branch. That's cool,
what
dude.
Technically is a challenge coin? What makes a challenge coin?
I've only ever received them from sergeant majors that will from sergeant majors of different companies, different battalions, stuff like that. It's basically just to me, I've always just been giving them as hey, thanks for working with us. Or vice versa. We give them a coin. I don't really know where the challenge part falls into.
Well, I think originally the challenge coin was for guys that
they're collector pieces.
Like say you were in a specific unit and you said you were in this unit. Well, the challenge coin come into play when they would challenge you and you would pull the coin out of your pocket and you say, "See, here's my proof."
Oh yeah, that's what it was. They would book quiz you. They would quiz you on what was the first battle that we lost in World War II. And then, or what's the standard dress for this particular thing? And then if you answered the question right, then you'd get this super sick coin.
Yeah.
And they vary in shapes and sizes.
I just didn't know if it was from people trading patches or.
And that one's cool. It actually rotates in the middle. I've never seen one like that, so it's pretty neat. But man, greatly appreciate that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Just really appreciate your time, dude.
And thank you for your service.
Well,
I guess you're okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's that 11 Bravo love. You know what I mean? Yeah. You miss that at all? Where you're just hey, man, what's up? Fuck you. Yeah, fuck you.
I do.
I miss that camaraderie, dude. You don't get that.
You don't. I work, I'm a civilian now for the government.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. You would get HR called on you so quick.
Yeah, suck my dick. What?
Sexual harassment and all this. Yeah. But I think about the guy we had in Afghanistan that was a little bit overweight.
Yeah.
And everybody who had a birthday, we would turn the lights down. He would come into the room and he would start stripping. And this guy was.
Oh yeah, dude.
He's actually a police officer.
Fuck yeah, he's probably fond. Those are fond memories for him. Maybe don't expose who he is.
Yeah, I won't say his name, but I mean that was legit. And what made it so funny was. The guy in the chair whose birthday it wasn't voluntary. He was being held down.
It's a strip. Oh, you can't say
tape. So
it's an involuntary strip.
Right.
That sounds still a lot like.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna have to bleep. Okay, and then I actually have one more question before. So we'll give you the last couple minutes to do shout outs or whatever. Anything you got coming up you want to push. But my final question to you, sir, is: what do you think the largest animal is you could kill with your bare hands?
Probably a pig.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Brian thinks he could take a deer barehanded.
Fucking hands down. Got it.
A doe, maybe if you dropped on it.
Yeah,
from
but
like
the buck
elevated.
with the antlers, you're
No
getting
way.
fucked.
You don't think so?
way.
What's
No
a buck
way.
weigh? 180? 200?
No, some are. My dad killed one time that had to have been 300 pounds.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up.
My dad killed a buck that was
Okay.
260.
Okay. I recant my buck statement. I could take a Pablo.
Yeah.
But if it's any doe, any 180-pound doe,
Dude, when I shot
she's
Pablo,
going down.
he ran up the hill at us. Like we were on the ground, and I smoked him, and he ran up the hill at us, and I shucked the shell and shot him again, and he fell like right next to me.
Well, I mean, they're full of breeding juice at that time.
Oh,
so
yeah. We had a doe piss dripper and everything.
Yeah, if you wanted to kill a buck, you make sure you do it before the rut, before they're all sexually freaking mangled up.
Riled up, dude.
Yeah.
So anyways, so pig, that's a solid answer, dude.
I actually pig wrestled champion at the turkey trot when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
That's our local little carnival.
Dude, just thank you for your time, dude. Last couple minutes is all you, dude. If you want to say what's up to anybody or anybody you're going to make listen to this and you want to be like, hey, fuck you, dude, whatever, this is your time to shine.
I don't have anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I really appreciate your time, dude. So thank you for telling us your story.
Thanks for driving down to the studio.
Yeah,
It's
no shit, man.
No big deal. My son's over at my mother-in-law's, so it's a good time to come down on the west
Awesome,
side. He's going to
dude.
hang out with my nephew for a couple hours while we were doing this. So
Awesome, man. Well, we'll have to have you back in again, dude. Hopefully at a more prime time. I don't know if you're a drinker, but normally I like to drink a couple drinks with my guests, but it's a little early today, so
it is.
you know. But I just appreciate your time. Thank you so much, man.
thank you,
So
guys.
this is a thrilling episode of the Days Grimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm. Thanks again, Grant.
Grant Mattingly. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Got to go, make the call. Hard work, banging on the doors in the morning. Hard work, get up, let's go to work. Hard work, you pack up the shoes. Hard work, you load them up. Hard work, manifest. Hard work, you gotta do it right. Hard work, and here we go. With the sun, I'm ready to ride. Hard work, I'm earning my pay. Hard work, that's what they say. Hard work, we moving on out. We gotta go and do the job. Load them up on the airplane. In the early morning rain. Hard work, that's what they say. Hard work, let me hear. Hard work, turn it up. Hard work, fire it up. Everybody on the plane. Gotta sit 'em on down. Hard work, the engines are on. Hard work, the mission is go.